Merrimack TV is committed to our community. From gavel-to-gavel coverage of town and school board meetings to updates on town services and projects, we aim to keep you connected.
Good morning, I'm Kyle Fox, Public Works Director for the town of Merrimack.
Hi, I'm Diane Trippett. I'm the town clerk tax collector for the town of Merrimack.
I'm Captain Matt Tarleton with the Merrimack, New Hampshire Police Department.
And keep the public informed of every motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
And many moments,
seconds.
So you can be confident that we're here for you. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. Follow Merrimack TV on Facebook.
And Mike, whenever you're ready, thanks.
Okay, hi. We're going to call the Merrimack Conservation Committee meeting to order. It's 6:32. And before we get started, we have to do our electronic, we're doing a COVID electronic statement, and I'll go first. Due to COVID-19 coronavirus, in accordance with Governor Sunnu's Emergency Order number 12, pursuant to executive order, this commission is authorized to meet electronically. So I, Mike Boisvert, am participating electronically from home. In attendance in person was not practical due to COVID-19. I'm alone in the room right now and I can hear everyone just fine. Gina, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Gina Rosati. I am participating electronically from home. Attendance in person is not reasonably practical due to COVID-19. I am alone in the room I'm in and I can hear the proceedings.
Gage?
Yes, this is Gage Perry. I'm participating electronically due to COVID-19 restrictions. I'm alone in my room and I can hear everyone just fine.
Eric?
This is Eric Starr. I'm participating from home due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I am alone in my room and I can hear everyone just fine.
Mike?
I'm Mike Druin. I'm participating electronically due to COVID. I'm alone in my room and I can hear fine.
And Tim?
Hi, I'm Tim Tenhave. I am participating electronically due to COVID-19 restrictions. I am alone in this room and I can hear everyone just fine.
All right, great. So the next thing is that we have two members absent, Cindy Glenn and Steve Perkins. And so Mike Druin and Tim Tenhave, would you please stand in for them and be voting members?
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, public comment. I don't see anyone wishing to comment. We don't have any appointments. Statutory advisory business, new business, the Seedling River Trail project. So Kyle Fox asked us to move that to our March meeting. So it's at March 1st. Is that our next meeting? Yeah. So we'll table that until March 1st. And then to the next new business item, Greater Woods Subcommittee. We're also going to postpone that. You have something to say, Tim?
Yeah, just briefly. So I did meet with Kyle over the phone after our last meeting, and he was going forward with our recommendation to potentially utilize one of our current properties with a strong conservation easement as the mitigation for the project. So just wanted everyone to be up to speed on that. So beyond that, he was going to do, like he said, he would then fall back to seeing if there was a way that they could provide us dollars to continue with one of our projects. So, but we'll see how DES responds.
Great. Anyone else? Okay, the Greater Woods
up and speak before, and I don't think we posted them as, we posted their attendance on our agenda, but we didn't have them post a public meeting.
I think the difference was when we had subcommittees come and speak before, there wasn't a quorum of them. If we're asking more than four of the subcommittee members to show up, then there's a quorum. So now that becomes their own meeting. So I'm not, Tim might know more about that than I do.
No, I think you got it right.
Yeah, and to be safe, I mean, it's possible it might be less than 4, but there could be 4, so I guess we should be safe. Okay, so I guess we'll Gage. Is it Nat? Is Nat the chair now?
Yes, I believe he is.
So we'll have to let him know.
Yes. Yeah, I'll reach out to him. I had a little problem by email. I didn't realize what was going on until I was able to send things but not receive. So I figured it out today, and I got Gina's message a little late. So I'll reach out to Nat about our next meeting and see if he's would like to have an attendance at a meeting attendance.
Okay, great. Is that it for the subcommittee? So if that's getting tabled until March 1st.
Gage, do you want to just send Don's email along to Nat so that he knows what has to happen as far as? Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. 2021 membership donation, Society Protection of New Hampshire Forest. We do this every year. I don't know if anyone has an objection to joining them and continuing our membership. Speak up. Do we have to take a vote for this? It's money, right?
Yeah, do you want me to make a motion?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion, by Gina, to renew the annual membership to the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests in the amount of $250. Funding source is the general operating budget. Do a second?
I'll second. Okay. Do we do a roll call vote or?
Yeah. Yes.
Roll call.
All right. So I vote yes. Gina?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Gage?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
So that carries 6-0. All right. So who sends that check out anyway?
I think it's Sharon, but we'll double check. I'll double check with Sharon.
Thanks. 2021 maintenance plan, Beaver Solutions. Gage, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. I'm trying to get that invoice up here. Yes. Yeah, I mean, this is a ongoing bill that we pay every year, and it's broken up between us and the town. They have their own, theirs is on their own invoice, but Beaver Solutions puts all of them. Mitigated, so I would like to continue to use them.
Yeah, I agree. And Gage, you put a lot of work into that. It's really been an asset to the Conservation Commission and the town.
No, they've worked well. They've worked very well. So it was a worthwhile investment, and certainly not. I mean, granted, they're not expensive to put in. I mean, $1,000 or so, and they're in the go. So it's really not that big a deal.
Any other comments?
I do not.
Would you like a motion?
Sure. I'd love
Okay,
it.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 maintenance plan with Beaver Solutions LLC and authorize the payment of $1,020. Funds are available in Fund 53.
Second.
Wait a minute, who seconded?
That would be me.
Gage?
Gage Perry. Second.
Gage Perry,
Yes.
as opposed to all the other Gages out
Yeah, I
there?
was gonna say all the other Gages in this commission.
Okay, I'll start. I vote yes.
Oh.
Gina?
Mike, you're on mute.
I shouldn't be.
Never mind.
No.
Are you okay? My internet connection's unstable.
Okay, Mike Boisvert votes yes. Gina?
Yes.
Gage?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
So that carries 6-0. All right, the next item is review on how funds 51 and 53 were created. Tim, you have something for us on that?
I do. So I am going to share my screen. I believe you can all see it now.
Yes.
So this came out of a discussion that I had with Paul McCallie. We were back last spring. We were dealing with Wildcat Falls, and there was some discussion as to how some of the funds that we were providing would be paid, and which fund to take it from, and based on that, there was confusion as to which fund, 51 or 53, we should be using for these kinds of things. So I asked Paul when he had a chance to work with his staff and to uncover the town meeting notes that created both funds. And I thought I would share this with all of you. Right now, I'm showing you the creation of Fund 51, but I would suggest that we ask Sharon to save these two files in the commission shared directory that she keeps of important documents, because this is something that now that we've found it, we might as well keep it readily available. So basically, during the town meeting for what appears to be 1980, 1981. There was a discussion about creating a fund which became what we now call Fund 51. And the article read to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $500 to establish a conservation fund as authorized by New Hampshire RSA 36A:5 to be administered by the Conservation Commission, subject to the approval of the Board of Selectmen, for the purpose of promoting the better utilization of our natural resources, and to further authorize the whole or any part of unexpended Conservation Commission budget appropriations be allowed to accumulate in the Conservation Fund from year to year and to be expended of the actual minutes during the deliberative session. So in 1980-81, we were a SB2 town, which had I believe we were an SB2 town. Maybe not, maybe we were full town meeting, but basically we had a deliberative session and the article was discussed. What you can see here through the discussion is that there was a removal of the $500 going into the fund. So going back to the way it's written, what I'm going to do is try to keep both pages on the screen so you can see it. So basically, it's to see if the town will establish a conservation fund per RSA 36A:5 to be administered by the MCC, subject to BOS approval for purposes of promoting better utilization of natural resources. And then the other part of this, in case you're curious or not aware, but the second part says, and to further authorize the whole or any part of the unexpended Conservation Commission budget appropriations to be allowed to accumulate in this conservation fund from year to year. And what that really means is, in fact, we spent some of that money tonight. So in the general budget for the town, under community development, there's a Conservation Commission section, which covers a number of things, and there's a budget allocated for it. It's been running somewhere around $4,000 or so per year, and that covers things like the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests dues and other things like that. But at the end of the fiscal year, which is at the end of June for the town, any of the funds that aren't spent out of that $4,000 or $4,000+ line item in the budget now gets turned into Fund 51. So Fund 51 every year has the potential to grow by a slight amount, whatever those remaining funds are. And I think the last time we looked at it, it had somewhere around $50,000 in it, and give or take. I don't know the exact current balance in it right now. So there is a funding mechanism for Fund 51, and that's where that money comes from, unless, of course, we find another way to allocate money to it, which we have not done as far as I know. So basically, it says it was to, the purpose of promoting better utilization of our natural resources, pretty wide open, and it was put in place in accordance with RSA 36A:5. If you wanted to see what that looks like, this is the current version of 36A:5, and that is the version that we are now operating under. So I'm not sure what it was in 1980, 81, but this is the way it is. And until that changes, this is where we're at. So basically, 36A:5 allows money to be put into a fund, and it's to be expended from said fund. And I'm going to read here, this is section 1 under 36A:1, money may be expended by such fund by the conservation for the purposes of this chapter without further approval of town meeting. So that means that we have the ability here of the Conservation Commission to expend those dollars for the purposes of this chapter. So the purposes of this chapter, you can read through it all, but basically the purposes of conservation funds are mostly spelled out here in A:2. Which speaks to what we're supposed to be doing as a Conservation Commission, and that is the proper utilization and protection of natural resources. Any questions?
No.
Okay, so that's Fund 51. Now let's look at Fund 53. So Fund 53 was created in May of 1996. It's pretty much followed the adoption of Chapter 111 that we've been living and working under for quite a few years now. And this fund was created to utilize, at the time, 25% of the revenues of all future payments collected pursuant to RSA 39-A, which is the land use change tax RSA, in the conservation fund in accordance with 36A:5:2. I mean A:5:2. As authorized by the RSA 79 with the concurrence of the Board of Selectmen. So that's how it was petitioned. And there was certainly some discussion on it. And therefore what we have now is a second fund that was created, and it utilizes dollars out of the land use change tax. Now, since this time in 96, the rules as to how the land use change tax is applied to our Fund 53 have changed a couple of times now. And now that we're in a town council form of government operating under our own charter, the the legislative body of the town is the town council. They have the ability to change the rules for this because of that. And the latest rules, I believe, state that we're allowed to have our Fund 53 grow up to $1 million. And then after that, no more dollars go into it. And dollars do go into it currently because we're under $1 million. And when we are under $1 million, dollars go into it from land use change tax at a 50% rate. So if there was $1,000 that went to land use change tax in a particular calendar year, up to 50% of it, or $500, would go into our fund, growing the fund. And that would continue happening until the fund hit $1 million where it's capped. Now, if we draw down on Fund 53, which like we've done tonight, and we do for land purchases and other items, then under $1 million, we can then grow it again at a 50% rate annually per land use change tax dollars. So right now that fund, I believe, is somewhere around 900 and something thousand. So there's quite a lot of money in there, and it will only grow to $1 million. So because it's tied to land use change tax dollars, you can be looking at how many land use change tax dollars potentially could come to the fund. And that's something that Paul McCallie was tracking for a while, but most of the land that's under this RSA has already been converted. So it doesn't look like there'll be a whole lot more money going into the fund, but that can vary, and it really depends on when owners of their land decide to change the use and turn it into a development or something along that line. So, and that can happen at any time, or it may not happen at all. It really depends on the property owners of those properties. So again, this fund can be expended per RSA 36A:5, which I showed you earlier, and under number 2 here. So all the monies basically follow under this part of the RSA, which is, again, very broad and wide open, requires a majority of the Conservation Commission to approve. Development, so therefore let's utilize some of those dollars to capture more open space, and that's kind of what we've been doing, following things we've laid out in previous meetings. What this now tells us is that we have a lot of latitude between the two funds. They're tied to RSAs. The RSAs dictate what we can use, and that's how they get started.
So Tim, getting back to Fund 51, I understand Fund 53, how all that happens. Fund 51, where does that money come from again?
It comes from the general budget of the town.
Right, and that's just for like these common expenditures that kind of, like the membership and stuff like that.
Subscriptions, memberships, and classes, things like that.
Yeah, education.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and like I said, it's been running about $4,000 a year. I haven't looked at the latest budget proposal, see what it's in for right now. So when you look at the town fund, while we approved the expenditure, technically that falls under Tim Thompson in the Community Development Department. So he's the one who manages those expenditures, but I do know that he prefers that we provide our approval for that use. So, when it comes to Fund 51, though, we really haven't been using it a whole lot, and there's really no reason why we can't. We just haven't. So.
Yeah, because when I say Fund 53 for the two things that I made motions for tonight, that's because, you know, when Dawn gave me my cheat sheet, she's got Fund 53 on there. And normally we use Fund 53. But if we do use Fund 51 for subscriptions and memberships, why wouldn't we have used Fund 51 for that?
So there's a couple of strategies. So Fund 51 is reimbursed by leftover dollars of the leftover 4,000, which means that it doesn't grow very much from year to year. Fund 53 comes out of land use change tax dollars. The potential for gaining more funds in Fund 53, quite honestly, is much larger.
Okay, so it's a matter of how much comes in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Thanks.
Yeah.
An important thing that Tim said, that, and I'll make sure everyone understands that, is that Fund 53 is only funded from land use change tax, and we are pretty much running out of property where that's going to happen in town. So Fund 53, while everyone thinks it's got all this money in it, we're also, that's what we're using to manage our properties. And so without a resource for it, it's going to begin to dwindle.
Yeah. But I would look at it as it's large enough to handle the things we need to do, as well as potentially a few more purchases to fill in some of the spaces that we've been working on. So.
In Hudson, they increase the percentage they get from 50% to, I believe, 75% or 100%.
Yeah.
By putting it on the ballot. Couldn't we do that here to get a few extra dollars?
Yeah, what you would want to do is follow the process that's outlined in the charter. First of all, I would take it to the town council where they have the authority to do it and make a case, right? Explain to them why, and they might be able to just do it with a simple vote at a meeting. If that wasn't to ask the council to do it and follow that process, which eventually becomes a petition, but it doesn't go on the warrant. The warrant now under our town charter is a budgetary warrant only, as well as items that the town council may want to have on a warrant. They do have that option. So actually, now that I've had a chance to process my response, the end result would be petitioning it for the warrant through the petition process. So yes, you can get it on the warrant. I'm sorry. It's been a little while since I had to think through the town charter process. In all honesty, I think, a number of years down the road when that fund is dwindled, and if there is desire by the townspeople to have more money in that fund, there's a lot of different ways we could turn around and fund it, or you could create a new fund, right, with a different funding mechanism. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are you?
That's all I got.
All right. Anybody else have questions on that?
No.
Okay. We'll move on to the next item under new business, which is Scholar access and parking. And I'll start that off. So this is just to start our initial conversation about this. I contacted Kyle Fox, and he was letting me know, obviously the access there is on town land. It's town land. There's a boat ramp, so everything we do there is tied with the town pretty much. And he was saying that there are some preliminary plans of grading that road down into there. And then they had applied for a grant from Fish and Game for the boat ramp improvements. But we don't know at what stage or if that's ever going to come to be. and so, he said we'd have to meet with the town council or the town manager to discuss this, but it's seeming like it would be a pretty big project to improve that access, and the town would be involved, and, a parking area and possible improvement of the boat ramp. And so they pretty much came out and asked, like, what are we willing to spend on the project? If we want to improve that access there, even though that road is on town land and stuff, they want to know if we were willing to put up any money. And this is all very preliminary. So I just wanted to get a feeling from you guys and wanted to know what you thought. So I know the subcommittee hasn't been able to meet, but it seems like by the kiosk would be a nice parking area, and then we could develop a couple of hiking trails out to the historical Thornton's Ferry site, and people can enjoy the riverfront there, but also if the boat ramp could get improved, and there'd be much better access there. And if the road could get improved, anyway, it ends up being a big project. What do you think?
Jim, do you remember there was a project to improve that, and I thought we got a grant, and it was never acted upon.
Through using New Hampshire money tied to Fish and Game. I believe there was even a vote at a town meeting on it at one point. So, but I don't think that was ever acted on.
Right.
I don't know all the specifics as to why. So it's quite possible that Kyle has since applied for a grant with Fish and Game. Again, I don't know, but Mike, you qualified this by saying it's a big project, but we've done big projects before.
Sure.
So,
Mike,
go ahead, Gage.
I'm sorry, Mike. When you were talking to Kyle, did he? Because we spoke to Kyle about this, and he had another location for a boat ramp that he thought was going to be a better fit. Did he bring up any other locations?
Not when I was communicating with him, but I had heard that the one by the treatment plant had fallen through.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. So, I would think that it's a matter of someone proposing a project, and then some people doing some homework to see what kind of grants are available. Most grants, even Fish and Game grants, require a match of some sort. So I don't think we would be asked to cover the whole bill, but we certainly could provide part of that match, or maybe the whole match, depending on the side of the project. And we could get both an improved access to the boat ramp and what you're looking for, the kiosk. But without having a project to start talking to, you really you can't go any further. So I think it's probably worthwhile having a further discussion with Kyle to see how mature the project plans are, or if it's still notional.
Right. I think, I don't know I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. I don't know if he can just give his time to us, and if he gets paid by the town, for us to talk to him about this. But at some point, some of us can go and meet maybe with the town manager or something like that. He said to go any further that he'd have to get approval from the town.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all easily doable. It's just a matter of someone championing the cause and running with it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have to move on from there, I guess. Take another step going forward. Try to keep this going.
Yeah, I mean, are you looking for a motion tonight that says to keep it going and drive to a project plan? Or do you think everyone here nodding their heads up and down is good enough to say keep going?
I mean, it seems like everybody wants us to keep going. So, I mean, we can take a vote. Does anybody want to vote? I mean, I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's it for new business. Now we move on to old business. The 2021 annual Seedling giveaway. Gage?
Well, I sent everyone that file, and I just sent it out again a couple minutes ago with some plants in it. If anyone's gone and read their website, they've got a big disclaimer on their website saying that things are already being sold out and be aware and all this other information. So if we're planning on doing it, I think we need to get this order in very quickly and be prepared to get extras, the things that we did.
Well, how about if we select and vote tonight?
Yeah, we can. Let me see if I can share this here. Tell me if you guys can see this, or when you can see that.
I can see it.
See it?
I see
So,
it.
You can't?
No, I see it.
Okay.
Well, I saw it before. There you go.
So this is last year. We ended up not being able to get these, and we got our alternate, which was American hazelnut. So we ended up, instead of 20 of these, we ended up with a lot of these. And as you can see, we gave away quite a few, but a little bit less than 50%. So the prices also have gone up a little bit, not a lot, but seemingly go up a little bit. I put together some items in here. I don't know if anyone's looked at the list of plants, but that's a little bit less plants than we gave away last year, but we're still in the ballpark. We give away, somewhere around 400 or so every year. Last year was a little high. We weren't expecting COVID, obviously, so we bought those prior. But you can see we're pretty much all, 375, 400 every year. This year would be, potentially a little less, 375. People are happy with those items. If they want to change them, we just need to have the nursery plan up if you want to change the selection.
No, I think it looks good the way that you have it, and it doesn't. I mean, looking at what we have for the last couple of years, it's a good selection. I mean, my only question isn't Mountain Ash the one that makes those obnoxious little orange berries?
Yeah, the Mountain Ash has it.
That's the one you got that on your property, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, it's dying actually right now. I've had it for a long time, but it's dying now.
I'm not saying don't have it. I'm just saying I used to live in a condo development, and they planted those all along the common areas. Every time you go for a walk, you'd end up with these little squished orange berries all over your feet.
The birds like them.
Well, then that's good. We should keep them.
Well, there's one caveat. That's the one. It's not an invasive species, but it's also not a native species. And that's the only one.
Okay.
All the rest of these are New England Northeast native species. This is the only one that's not. And we've had it before, and we've given it away before. But
if birds like it, I like it. Go for it.
They also like burning bush, Gina. But this is not on the invasive species list. It's not a New England native plant.
Yeah.
So
we only have 50 of them anyway.
Do you want to stick with the same selection and hope that Gage can get most of them?
Yeah, I would just put a caveat that if they're short any, don't give us more Mountain Ash. So can you just say,
Well, you have to list your alternates,
okay,
and I suppose we can list as alternates. List no, don't give us anything, because then we end up like this with, a lot of extra of one plant.
well, maybe you want to do that because I mean,
We've never not put in an alternate.
okay,
I mean, we could put in,
yeah,
I'm sorry, Gina, we could put in crabapple or some other plant, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I would suggest that we pick some fruit-bearing plants as alternates that
Okay.
aren't on our current list,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's the problem. It's right there.
Oh, there's crabapple, okay,
These are a package.
gotcha.
So this you buy this one package, and this is what comes in it.
Those
I
are
mean, we're not getting a lot. The crabapple do go quick. I mean, if you go back in history here, there's other times we've had crabapple.
Yep.
They've pretty much always gone.
That's a good one. Crabapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be in any danger of getting rid of them, so.
Yeah. I mean, every time we've had it, we give away pretty much all of them. So
Yeah.
we got 50. We gave away all of them. So there's things like that. I mean, that's that we typically try to do is have something that's attractive as an alternate.
Yeah, I would go with crabapple as an alternate.
Well, yeah, it's you have to put an alternate in for everything.
Oh,
So I will get that done and put that together. And keep it. That's, as I said, the prices are going up slowly, not a lot. I mean, we're 375 plants, and it's 330. Which the last time we had that was it was $400 for 375 plants. Now we're 335 for 375 plants. So the prices are going up ever so slightly over time.
So as an alternate, can we select like say
We can select anything that's in the catalog.
yeah, so a package can be an alternate, like a songbird package or wetlands.
Yes, to make the math work, I always try to pick alternates that are the same price,
Right.
so we don't end up with a hey, you need to, here's the alternate, but you need to send us $10.
Okay. So any other comments? So do you think you know what we want there, Gage?
Well, this is what I put together for now. So I mean, if this looks good to everyone, this right here, if it looks good to everybody, then I will put the order form in and try to pick alternates that are in that same grandeur there.
Okay.
Gage,
So
you've been doing this a long time, and I trust you.
yes.
I'm certainly willing to hand it over if you want to do it, Gina.
Well, I think you're doing a good job on it. I will make a motion if anyone wants a motion.
So let's get a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure of an amount not to exceed $450 for the purchases of plants needed for the May 8th, 2021 Seedling giveaway. Source of funding is Fund 53. Do a second?
I'll second it, also authorizing Gage to substitute or provide alternates as he believes are appropriate.
Good.
Okay, let's take a vote. I vote yes. Gina,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
I'll be planning on doing the same thing again. So if you guys want to review that and give me your thoughts, it seemed to work out pretty well, I thought, last year. Gina, I think we got it to work out pretty well.
I wasn't there last year, but it did seem like it worked out well. I think
you just dropped off. That's right. You dropped off masks and ran, didn't you?
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to provide masks again if you need them. But I mean, since we're here, is there anybody that is free the day before Mother's Day that wants to help? I don't know if Steve will be able to do it this year.
Well,
And remember, you also had Steve's kids last year.
Yeah, we had quite a few volunteers. We had his kids and my kids were volunteering, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
we can always get the volunteering later, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does require more volunteers than when we're just having it inside Courier Orchards. You know, there was a lot of people running back and forth between cars and delivering. It was curbside pickup, so to speak.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well,
just keep that in mind.
okay.
Any other comments on the seedling giveaway? Okay, we'll move on to the next old business item. Horse Hill Nature Preserve ex officio member. I see Cindy's not here. Do we have any volunteers we're looking for that position, is that correct?
We are looking for someone to fill that position. Cindy was the ex officio for Horse Hill, and then Mike Swisher took it over. And when Mike left, he left a void. So we need someone to step up and take over that spot. Have we any volunteers? I have Wildcat Falls, so.
Yeah. I've got Greater Woods, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I have Scalar.
Okay.
Slim picking, boys. What are you doing?
Tim's going to be taking over Fields Farm.
Yep.
Okay. So Eric and Mike D, you guys can think about this. We can always vote on it at the next time. But if anybody wants to step up and.
Why don't we take it up at the next meeting?
Okay. Just planting the seed there for you two.
And again, if either of you are interested too, you can reach out to Cindy and talk to her privately. You don't have to wait. Yeah, no. You can talk to Cindy privately to get an idea of what the work and what has happened, and you don't have to wait for the meeting to try to get the information here on a public forum.
Good point.
Yep.
I'll look into it, but I almost never get a chance to actually go to Horse Hill, so I don't think I'd be very good at it.
Well, let's put it this way. I never go to Wildcat either, so.
It's mostly someone to interface between the committee and the Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require you to be on the property.
Right.
So.
I mean, the first time that I went to Wildcat, I got lost. So, and it's pretty impossible to get lost at Wildcat, and I managed to do that. So,
Nice job, Anna.
I know. I'm pretty talented, but essentially it just boils down to, being a contact point for people and then presenting their concerns and ideas to the commission. So you would have to attend, there's subcommittee meetings, which right now there aren't any subcommittee meetings. You just are pretty much the point of contact.
Yeah, Horse Hill usually only meets quarterly. So that's one meeting every 3 months.
But think about it.
Okay, we'll bring it up next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st.
Yep.
Next old business item is Chapter 111. Do you have an update for us, Tim?
I don't. I believe this was put on the agenda because Pete, Councilor Albert, wanted to have a discussion about Chapter 111, and are we ready to move forward with the town council on Chapter 111? So a little history. We worked on Chapter 111 leading right up to the COVID-19 shutdown of activities. So in about this time of last year, I was getting ready to set up a meeting with the town council. This was February. So in February, it looked like everything was pretty much normal, and COVID-19 really wasn't on most of our radar screens. Probably should have been. But with that said, I had suggested to Becky Thompson to delay the meeting with the town council until after the April town vote. That way we knew who the town councilors were going to be. And since we were proposing an ordinance change, the town councilors have a process to follow that includes them voting on it. I felt that it was probably better to have a stable town council, not one that could have changed with the vote in April. And that thought was okay. Tom, or the chair at the time, I think it was Tom, or whomever I spoke with, thought that was a viable solution. So I pushed off the presentation of the town council until the last town council meeting in April. And then COVID happened and we started going into virtual meetings. They had suggested that because of that and that the town vote was being delayed, that we wait. And I really wanted to wait to have a stable town council. Well, we didn't have our town vote until, what was it, June of last year? I believe so, just before the end of the fiscal year. So at that point we had a town council, but again, we were all virtual at that point. And it just, to me, it didn't make a lot of sense to go through it. When I look at Chapter 111 changes, our changes are not so substantial that it was time urgent. In fact, our changes wouldn't have changed any of our regulations, even due to COVID-19, when you look at what we were suggesting. So really what they were about doing was putting all our open space conservation lands under a common chapter and having a common set of guidelines and something that could be enforceable if there was a problem that arose. It would allow our police department to have some latitude and ability to pursue against other folks. Year progressed on, meetings started going back to being in person. This is the fall of last year. I was asked if I wanted to present and I wasn't comfortable doing that. So therefore I said, no, I personally am not comfortable going into a meeting and presenting because I knew we were going to be there for a while. This is going to take at least an hour to an hour and a half to adequately present it and discuss anything. So it could go in a half an hour, but my instinct tells me it's at least an hour long, sitting in an open public meeting and where some people are not wearing face masks. So I wasn't comfortable with that situation, given my own situation. So time has now gone on. We're now into February of 2021. My thoughts haven't changed for me. My situation hasn't changed. I have not been vaccinated. And until that happens, I'm not comfortable attending a meeting for that long a time. I had some discussions with Steve. He was open to the idea, but we needed to be prepped and we would require some time to go through it. Situation with Chapter 111 really hasn't changed. I don't believe doing something now is time urgent. I'd be happy to take this up later in the year when I have been appropriately vaccinated. If you want me to do it, I'm happy to virtually meet with anyone and prep them so they could take it to the town council if they'd like to do that. All of you do know that I've expressed that I'm going to leave the commission when my term expires in June. But I will commit to all of you right now, like I did when I was a town councilor more than 10 years ago, that I will see this through. So if you would, even if I'm not a commissioner and you would like me to champion this through with a member of the commission joining me, when the time is appropriate, I would be happy to do that. If that's June or that's September or whatever it is. So I don't think all is lost. I think all the work can still go forward if you want to go down that path. But if you want to do something sooner, again, I'd be happy to meet with someone and prep them for that discussion. So it's totally up to you. I did something similar when we were working on the town code with the town council. And I ended up, I left the town council when my term expired. And then I stayed on in 2011, I think early 2012. Don't quote me on the exact dates or years. Help them get through the rest of the town code and make all the necessary updates that were required as part of the charter process. So, and I'll do the same thing here.
I think that's totally understandable. I'm sure we all agree. And thanks for promising to see it through.
Yeah.
I know I'm even hesitant, like, you know, going in to meet with a couple of people. Like, do I want to do that now? Right? I want to be wait till I'm vaccinated too. You know, so that's probably why the Scalar things might be taking a little longer too. You know, so we understand.
Absolutely.
I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that you're willing to come back and do that at some point and take your time, because we don't know how these variants are going to go. So, you know, you're smart. I've been to a town council meeting or two and they space out, but, you know, people are not wearing masks all the time and I'm not comfortable in there. So.
Okay. So we're fine with wait. Everybody's fine with waiting, right?
So now I think that's okay.
Yep. As long as it takes.
Okay. Well, is that it, Tim?
That's it.
Okay. I'll move on to other business. Subcommittee updates. What has anybody met? No, probably not.
I talked to Karen Labonte today about, because who was it? Who brought up there's snow? Was it Pete that said, "Oh, there's snow. You should do a moonlight snowshoe walk"? And I mentioned it to Karen, and we both said nope. So there will not be a moonlight snowshoe walk at Wildcat Falls this year. So just in case anyone's wondering, even though there's snow.
Well, Horse Hill and Greater Woods got their duck boxes cleaned, and each one got 1 or 2 new duck boxes put up.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, so Gage and Eric and Steve were out doing that.
I'm very upset Cindy's not here. The duck boxes I had in the truck, they had a little ball of the fill in there, and I went to pull it out of my truck at Horse Hill, and a mouse popped out. And I caught him. I stuffed him back in the thing, and I put him back in my shed. So he's going to be safe till spring.
You know, there was a little bit of that. You could tell nesting material in with the wood chips.
Yeah. Well, Cindy should be happy with me. I did. Yeah, Steve was laughing at me.
Anything else for any of the subcommittees?
No, as you said, I don't think anyone's met.
Yeah. Okay. Presentation of minutes. I know we have, we tabled the last meeting's minutes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I noticed that.
So.
Our motion?
Yeah, well, motion to, okay, yeah.
We have 2 of them. Wait a minute. We got to take it off the table first. So, all right. So we have a motion by Gina to take from the table the meeting minutes of December 7th, 2020. Second. Anyone?
Second.
Mike. All right. So I read this all over, and I have 0 changes. Everything was perfect. So there are, I'm going to make a second motion here to accept the Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting minutes dated December 7th of 2020 with changes as follows, no changes. Do we have a second for that?
Second, Tim.
Tim.
Okay, so we Take a vote on that.
Sure.
I vote yes. Gina,
Yes.
Gage,
I was absent, so I'm going to abstain.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, so that passes 501. Now we have the January 25th minutes.
Yes. So I will make a motion to approve the Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting minutes dated January 25th, 2021 with changes as follows. I only had 2 changes on these. I found on page 3, line 24, it's green Snowpro, and Snowpro is actually SNOW, capital PRO. So it's all one word, but there is a W in there. And then on page 4, line 49, Mrs. Patterson has 2 T's. And that's all I had on that.
I think I saw something in a mentioning of the Greater Wood bypass.
Mm-hmm. What page?
It says Plastic Road or Plastic Road. Or something.
I saw that too, and I actually looked it up, and there is a Plastic Road in Merrimack.
Yeah, but
it's not.
I got to do with the the bypass.
I don't know.
That should probably be.
Where are you guys seeing that?
It's in the discussion with the bypass. I can't
find it.
I'm trying to find it.
Plastic, huh?
Plastic or something. I have no idea where that came from. So that's plastic.
Classic.
Oh,
yeah. It's got PLASIC. Yeah, I don't have a line number.
In a minute, let me see if I can find it.
It's page 9, line 16.
Okay. Yeah, there is a Plastic Road in Merrimack because I did go on Google Maps and look for it. So.
Yeah, but what were we talking about? South Greater Road there, or? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, so I wasn't part of the discussion. But if Plastic Road goes over, I don't know if anybody can switch over and see if it goes to the other side of where that bypass would have gone.
So the other side of it ends up out on, it was on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. Oh, shoot.
At Wilson Hill.
Wilson Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plastic Road is not anywhere near that. It's Plastic Road is over by the Birches.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
So
go.
that, I think that should read South Greater Road instead of Plastic Road. Does that sound right?
Yes, South Greater Road is the name of the road on the other side of the bypass area.
All right. Tomorrow I'll go back on the I'll go on the replay on the video and I'll go and find out exactly what you guys said, just so I can let Don know. And then I'll leave.
Thank you.
Good catch, Mike.
A motion to accept the December 25th, 2021, January 25th, 2021 minutes as amended.
Second.
I made the motion. Gage seconded it. You want to make the motion, Mike?
Oh, I did. I think yeah,
You
I'll
did.
make a motion. Yeah.
Okay, so Mike, motion, Engage seconded.
Yes.
Okay,
I vote yes. Gina,
yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay, that's approved 6-0. So public comment. I don't see anybody for public comment. Commissioner comments. Anyone have any further comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was doing realtor school. I'm like, oh wow, this has a lot of related material from my experience with the Conservation Commission. So I'm looking to get my realtor license hopefully in the next couple of months. And maybe that could be some use to this commission.
Yeah, that's great.
Good snowfall out there. Just ask people to be diligent when they're on the trails. Don't go hiking up a trail that you don't have the equipment for and don't have the time for. That way you don't get yourself into trouble, because we'd prefer not to have to prefer not to have to call in emergency folks to have to help take you out of the trails. It's also very pretty right now, and certainly with the snowfall that's coming, it's very pretty. Lots of good picture taking opportunities. But again, understand your limitations and be cautious and enjoy our properties during this interesting time of year.
Yeah, and they're out there. There's lots of people enjoying the properties. Any further comments of anybody? Eric, Gina?
Almost that.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
There you go. All right,
So Mike made it, the motion. Who seconded?
I did.
Gage made the motion. Tim seconded it.
Okay, so Mike B. Okay,
No, Gage made the motion.
Gage made the motion.
wait, Gage made the motion?
Yes.
I did.
Gage. Okay, and then Mike B seconded it?
Tim seconded it.
All right. Gotcha. Okay.
I vote yes. Gina,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim.
Good job running the meeting, Mike. Yes.
Thanks. Good team. All right, that motion to adjourn carries 6-0. Everybody have a nice next several weeks.
You
And
on
what time do you have, Mike?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sort of 7:40.
Okay.
All set. See y'all later.
Good night, guys.
Merrimack TV is committed to our community. From gavel-to-gavel coverage of town and school board meetings to updates on town services and projects, we aim to keep you connected.
Good morning. I'm Kyle Fox, Public Works Director for the town of Merrimack.
Hi, I'm Diane Trippett. I'm the town clerk tax collector for the town of Merrimack.
I'm Captain Matt Tarleton with the Merrimack, New Hampshire Police Department.
And keep the public informed of every motion
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
and many moments, so you can be confident that we're here for you. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. Follow Merrimack TV on Facebook.